All right, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Veil. This is a special episode for BoneZee and I, episode number 9. And this
Nine.
is it's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
So during BoneZee's whole awakening, this is the nines is just that's been what he's experienced in every aspect you can imagine that you could experience a number.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So I thought we
Actually,
wanted to do something special for the 9th episode here, and
yeah.
we decided to talk about numerology, your numbers, your number 9, or all
Big.
the synchronicities.
Yeah.
Every Oh my God, the
Yeah.
numbers are intense, man, and the
Right.
synchronicities are like really ramping up. Like it's just like right now it's 10:10.
That's insane, dude. It's insane.
Wow, wow.
Love it.
Well, before we get into all that, I'm glad to see that you're feeling better. You look a lot better now. You were feeling rough there for a couple days. I know.
Yeah. I was dying, dude. I've still got some kind of pain in my shoulder blade that I can't shake. It's been there for almost a week now.
Really?
It'll go away a little bit. When I had my back surgery, they gave me some flex wheels about a year and a half ago, and I can't stand them things, but I still got all of them.
Mhm.
At nighttime, I've been forced to take. I can't stand them because, man, they just give you a rotten taste in your mouth and they knock you out. You sleep too long, but it takes the cramp away. So I've done that a couple different nights. Took one, but I didn't take one last night. But probably should have because I was up at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, man.
Yeah, I got texted very random times from you. It was like 1:38 and 3:30 and 4:44. I
And
was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that sounds like an
yeah,
interesting evening.
yeah, yeah. Usually I'm sleeping. My old ass is sleeping at that time.
That's funny.
But I
All
do feel
right,
better.
so what did you have in mind for this numbers thing? I mean, I love your story about the numbers and the number 9 especially
Yeah,
with everything, like every time you see the clock switching the number and those numbers equaling 9. Like
that's
that's fascinating.
that's the crazy shit, dude. And the cool thing about that is when I get off my path, it stops. When I get back on my path, it picks back up. It's like it's guiding me. I'm being communicated with, man, through my higher
Yeah.
self in a big time way. And it's always been like the reason I call my channel 369 is because it's always been 3 6s and 9s for me. A lot of 3s, a lot of 9s, sometimes the 6s in there. But I told you about the houses I grew up in. With my first house, well, there was one before that, and I got to get the address and see if it is the same, but 2712 Fletcher, which adds up to 3. Then I moved to 303 West 6th Street, and then I moved back with my dad to 2712 Fletcher. Then he and I moved to 819 West 9th Street, and I ended up, when I grew older and Kim and I were together, moved down to 919 West 9th Street. But
Wow.
I was the third grandchild on both sides born. Got 3 sons, got 3 siblings. Um, I should have wrote all this down because there's so much. There's a
Yeah.
lot. But on my awakening, that happened on my 54th birthday, which equals 9, September 30th, which is 9:30. And like I say, I was born 9/30/63. So there's them numbers. And then, but like I say, my awakening began, and when I got my reconnection, that was 9/9/18. That was
So
the finale.
999.
Yeah, and the room that I stayed in was 225, and that was not by design. That was by accident because the room I went in to get, they didn't give me, so they gave me that room, and that's the one I ended up in.
Well, it's
It
by
was,
divine design, maybe not your design, but
I
divine
know,
design.
from my driveway to what the hell was the name of that motel we went to? Whatever it was that I met Case at, 99 miles. What else? Oh, dude, it's in one of my videos, but the 9s, it's just insane. It's insane. But the clock changing and equaling on 9, that is, to me, I'm telling you, for the first month or two, it would give me sort of I mean, it was just like, I it was like I was talking. I was like I was being communicated. It was literally being communicated with, you know. I was like, and it was like, it was kind of emotional, man. It was like magical. It was, because it was happening, you know. I work at home. I work from home, and I'll be editing videos for weddings and stuff that I shoot, and I do some photography here and there. So I'm always looking at the clock. I'm always on my computer looking at my clock, and I'll look at it, changes, right? You know, I don't stare at it. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. I don't even look at it for a second. The moment I look at it, when my eyes are fixed on that clock, it changes and it equals 9. And sometimes 7. Sometimes it would be 7, but 80% of the time it was 9.
When we
So
first started talking to each other, every text message, the time of it was either
yeah,
9 or 7 or 3.
yeah, yeah. And I started pointing that shit out to you. And
Yeah.
then you told me, wasn't it your brother's birthday? Didn't he turn 36? And
Yeah.
the day that his birthday was added up to 9. I told you, I said, he's having his 36th birthday on the 9. He was like, oh, hell no, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, and 9 is the God number. And 3, 6, and 9, that's the Trinity to me. That's really what, you know, people want to know what it means to be divine. They want to know what divinity is. They want to know, how do you ascend to be that light being? Is to be in harmony with everything. And all the signs are right here. They're all right here, dude. God has left every single imprint. His thumbprint is all over everything. And it speaks and screams harmony, harmony, harmony. Doesn't matter if it's paint. Paint has a frequency. Colors have a frequency. Music has a frequency. Geometric patterns, everything has a frequency. But when you go to look at these things, when you combine these things, you can go to the musical scale, and you see how Pythagoras is the one that, you know, started the scale. You can see where 9 fits in. 9, 9, 9. It's just never ending, man. And then all the signs of the universe, like
Yeah.
the Earth is 108 times the size of the moon. The sun is 108 times of Earth. The diameter, the moon radius, is 1,737 kilometers, which adds up to 9. Orbital period, 27 days. If you go to what do they call each degree? What is that? 27. How many years is that each degree? I forget now. Because when the Earth's wobble is 2,500. Oh boy, what
It's
the
like
hell?
26,000 years, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the exact numbers add up to 9. I think I wrote that.
Oh yeah,
25.
dude. I heard that, like, everything about the planet, everything about the orbit of the planet, everything about where the ley lines are and how far they're separated by degrees. It all equals up down to the minutes and the hours in the day, and to the minutes of the, like,
Yeah,
like the minutes of the hour, or I can't remember what it was. I heard this guru, sad guru, break it all down with everything down and relating it to the human heartbeat.
yeah. The
And
human heartbeat. Well, first off, the gestational period is 9 months.
yes,
Your respiration is 18 times per minute, and you actually 25,920 times a day is the average respiration rate. Your heart rate is 72 times.
that's the number for the wobble too.
The
You just said it.
wobble is 25,920.
There you go.
That's the whole entire, and that's the Bach tune, or that's the great year, or I think. I know that what they call the Bach tune is 144,000 days.
Which is nuts.
It's insane. Let me see what else we've got here. Your average heartbeat is 4,320 times per hour. They call this the mean, which the mean is your standard time. You know what I mean? It's your standard, your average. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. What else? The moon rotates the earth 29.530953, which equals 9. Nibiru, whatever you pronounce it, comes around every 3,600 years, orbits the earth. Speed of light is 186,282, which equals 9. Minutes in a day, 1,440. Seconds in a day, is that to say a day? Because I wrote some of this down. 86,400. All this, anybody can break this down. I ain't gonna go through the math. You can add it up. It's 9, you know what I mean? Minutes in a week, 10,080. Minutes in a year, 525,600. I mean, it's insane, dude. If you don't believe in God after researching 369, there's something wrong with you. That's how Tesla figured out the pulse. The pulse is from 369. The pulls on 3 and 6 change back and forth. 9 never changes. You know, I'm gonna bring it back. Here's what's called, this is what Tesla figured out. This is the Tesla code, and it's called vortex math. See if you can see this.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah, back right there is good.
Yeah. And when you go to doubling these numbers, you see the 9 never stays the same. And what you do is you reduce numbers to 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of numerology and the way that people study numbers. You always bring it down to a digit, and that's how you can study it. But you also double, like he was trying to figure out, because everything in our body doubles. Our cells, you know, 1 cell turns to 2, 2 turns to 4. That's the way of nature. That's how everything goes. So he's trying to figure it out, and I'm pretty sure it was Tesla, the one that figured this out. And this is called vortex math. It's the Tesla code.
Wow.
But when you go to double these numbers, if you go to double 3 and 6, if you double, this is how you know the pulse goes back and forth. One will be negative, and then when it switches, there's a real good videos on. If you go check out vortex math, they have this thing where it actually moves, and you can see the pulse. And then they give you a 3D model of like an atom where all 9 balls are together. And when the 3 switches from negative to positive, and the 6 switches from positive to negative, the 9 goes up. When it switches back, the 9 goes down. And all the corresponding numbers across, if you look at all these numbers, they'll always equal 9, 8 and 1, 7 and 2, 6 and 3, 5 and 4. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Across. So like, let me just use 3 and 6 for an example. If you double 3, you're going to get 6. Double 6, you get 12, which brings you back to 3. Double 12, you get 24, which brings you back to 6. Do the same thing over here. 6 to 12 brings you, you start with 6, double it up, goes to 12, brings you to 3. 12 doubled up is 24, brings you back to 6, and so on and so forth. It goes 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. These dudes go back and forth. If you used to double these numbers, this is how the pattern goes. You double 1, it goes to 2. You double 2, it goes to 4. You double 4, it goes to 8. You double 8, it goes to 16.
Which goes to 7.
Which equals 7. You double 16, goes to 32, which equals 5. You double 32, goes to 64, which is 64 back up to 10. 1 plus 0 equals 10. And this pattern of these numbers, the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, they continue to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And as they're going back and forth, doubling like this, these are switching polarity right here, back and forth, back and forth. 9 stays the same. You double that 9, it's 18. Double 18 is 36. 36 is 72. 9 will never. You can double it to your 9. And then you cut it in half. You go in the other direction and slice it in half. It's 4.5. Half of that is 2.25. Half of that is 1.115 or whatever it is. But it equals 9. Trust me. And that goes on and on. This is how Tesla found the pulse. That's why he says, if you want to understand the universe, one thing he says is, think of it at what? Energy, frequency, and vibration. But he also says, if you knew the powers of 369, you would know the answers to the universe. This is the answer. This is what God is trying to tell you, is that you need to be in harmony with everything. And the way that you find this out, because this goes even deeper into music, which I don't have any of that wrote down, but I can break that down for you too. When you make a C major scale, if you go by the numbers, they all equal 9. They all, because the frequency of the C minor chord, and then I think, let me see, A, B, C, D, E, F. So F and G, I think, are the corresponding, because whenever you make a chord, it's always the root, which is the first, and then the fourth and the fifth. And that's how each chord each major chord is made up of 3 chords. And the frequency of them, when you add them up, they equal 9 on their own. And then when you add them up, they equal 9 as they're added up. Another way you find this out And with the platonic solids or with just regular geometric patterns, circles 360 degrees.
Hmm.
The square is 360 degrees. The triangle is 180 degrees. You know, the square, you got 90, 90, 90, 90.
Okay.
60.
180.
Triangle,
Yeah. I never thought of
yeah,
that.
triangle is 60, 60, 60.
Hmm.
So, which equals 180, you know, a triangle. So, you know, there's, it's everywhere. It's so in your face. It's so evident. And then you begin to see the certain colors and their frequencies, which I don't have that broke down. I got so much row. I got 3 boards just covered in numbers right here. And there's so much, dude, it'll blow your fucking mind. That's how I found God. I mean, I always had faith because Kim, her faith is like unshakable. She's like the prayer warrior, dude. And she,
Yeah.
you know, when I grew up, you know, I went to church before my second stepdad. My first stepdad was real religious. We was pounded into the church. I mean, we were some church going mugs, dude. I was a Bible thumper, you know what I mean? Well, then she married the bad guy, and everything flipped. And he was like abusive, and he was a molester, and he was just a fucked up dude. He was extremely abusive, extremely abusive. And you know, I shook in my rattle in my cage about God. I was like, you know, if there's a God, why would he let anything like this happen to kids? You know what I mean? There can't be a God, you know, that's what you sort of think. And then I got with Kim and learned through her faith, it gave me faith. And I had faith in God. So after my awakening, I had a knowing of God. You know, there's you go to Vortex Math, you go find out about the powers of 369, and then you go to a dude named Carl Munich, the code, and he talks about the pyramids, the ley lines. There's pyramids everywhere. There's different kinds of pyramids. There's even
the whole grid of the planet that's pyramids, dude. It's nuts.
it's and they're
Thousands
all
of pyramids, dude.
and they're all placed in certain ley lines, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And what it tells you is phi is the secrets and the answers are in phi, pi, and the wobble. There's the Earth's wobble is everywhere. You know, there's something huge about the wobble, the precession of that wobble. There's something huge that we're supposed to know. That's fucking huge, man, because it's everywhere.
We need to figure it out because we're in that wobble now.
We are.
Yeah. So
We're steady in it.
yeah, and
We
that's
stay
kind of
in it.
like I think
I mean,
where they go ahead.
We stay in that wobble. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know, like if you imagine the Earth and you have the axe going through, like, you know, an angle, and as it turns, that turns like this. You see what I'm saying? And I think it was what I was trying to say earlier was that what do they call it? It's 2100 and something. Damn it. Astrology age. This let me see if I can find it on here.
Astrology age?
Well, you go through one, like how we just came out of we went into Aquarius, but we came out of what the hell was we? Huh?
Came out of Libra, didn't we?
No.
Scorpio.
No.
Oh, no, what was it?
No, it was Pisces or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I think it was Pisces.
We moved into an Aquarian, you know, which is the golden age where we're getting in. 2160 is the time. Let me see. I got it on here somewhere. I know I do. I ain't shitting, man. There's the astrological period, each period, and 1 degree of that period is 72 years. So everything comes down to 9. It keeps coming down to 9, and we haven't even got into the math of the 9. You know, the 9 itself is all numbers and nothing at once. It's like the most elusive number. Like anything you add to 9 will always revert back to itself. Like if you add 5 to 9, that equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. You could add anything to 9. You know, let's say you got 120. Okay, that equals 3, right? Because you got 1 plus 2 plus 0. 120. Add the 9. Now you got 129. You add that up, and you've got 21. Back to the 3. You see what I'm saying? Or 121, or what did I say? 120?
129.
129, then you add it all up. Yeah, 1 plus 2. Yeah, it equals 129. 1 plus 2 plus 9 equals 12, right?
Well, yeah.
Which is 3. So you will always, now here's some other crazy shit. Anything that you times 9 by, will always equal 9. 1 times 9 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. It's on and on and on. And here's what's cool is once you get to 5, it mirrors itself. Like up here, you got 1 times 9 is 0, 9. Or 0, 1. Let's just say a 0 and a 1. So we have 2 decimals. It equals 9. But if you go across from that, 10 times 9, switch this number to 10 times 9, you get 90. You see the mirror? 20.
I see.
Next one would be 2 times 9 equals 18. And then 9 times 9 is 81. So the mirror, if you used to make and mirror that, you would see that it goes 9, 90, 18, 81, 27, 72, 36, 63, 45, 54, all the way down. It mirrors itself. Here's another.
How nice that would have been to know, like, to be taught when you were taught the times tables. Like, I always struggled with the times tables, dude. It was so difficult for me. And it's just like you got to memorize it. It's not really learning.
Well, when I was a kid, I had figured it out on my own. And I would always know that anything times by 9, and I would always check my answer by adding it up to see if it equaled 9. If it didn't, I knew I was wrong. And I don't know.
You've been on this path for a long ass time and you didn't even know it. I'm getting ready to do a video on that actually, about how everything that we have done, every experience, everything we've learned in our entire lives has been training us for this moment right
Absolutely.
now.
And our other lives.
Yeah.
Not only this life, but our other lives and our other dimensions, wherever, like, I'm sure there's, I'm sharing, my consciousness is sharing, I'm a Pleiadian somewhere, I'm Nocturian or whatever, I'm in Sirius somewhere, you know what I mean? So those lessons there are easy. These lessons here where we're at, this is the master class. This is like, this is the class that's hard to fucking pass, dude. You know what I mean? Because the whole reason you're here is to learn how to manipulate energy. And most people never figure that out. And I'm still on my path to trying to figure that out. And that's, there's so many of the, guys on there, they're telling you, all you got to do is think this and you can manifest it and this and that. There's a little more to it than that. And that goes back into the 7 Hermetic Principles, which is the Book of Thoth. And that's a whole other subject that we can get into. And that goes back to Egypt. Yeah. And the Egyptians and the Greeks were fascinated with the number 9. They were all over that shit. Pythagoras was all over it. All of them. Aristotle, Plato, you name it. They were all on that shit. And it's not a secret. And even the Mayans knew about it. The Hindus knew about it. The Sumerians knew about it. The Anunnaki knew about it. 9 is what's up. We have got 9 planets,
Never thought of that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit. Pi is 3.141, which equals 9. A lot of people call it 3.14, which it is. But if you go to the next digit, it's 1. So if you look at pi as a 4-digit number.
What is the full number of pi? Isn't it like an 8, 9-digit number?
It's yeah.
Never added that all up? I bet you that's 9 too.
I'm sure it is, and so is phi. Phi's the same.
What is phi?
I don't have it wrote down. I was just looking at it this morning. Phi is actually the golden ratio. It's 1.6.
Oh yeah.
1.681. Is it 1.6
equals 9? Basically, is that the?
No, the golden ratio is. It's similar to the Fibonacci sequence. With that, you add 0 plus 1 equals 1. You always move to the next 2 numbers and add those 2. That's how you get your next number. Then you move. So you would 0 and 1 equals 1. So you got 1 because you got the 1 there, 0 and the 1. Now you got 2 1s. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8, and it just carries on. And it stays at that 1.6. I think it's 1.618 or 1.681. I think it's 618. But
I learned about that last year before all this, before I had the vision and the whole energy healing thing came into my life. It was a great documentary that this woman did on the pyramids and all the structures in, like, you know, ancient Egypt, you know, that the sheer scale of these, you know, even the faces that are carved into like the walls or the mountains or the rocks, whatever they are,
Yeah,
that
everything.
the
It's,
symmetry of it is perfect, and it
yeah.
all goes back to that
If you
uh
go to the Greek,
the golden ratio,
hmm
all of
and
it.
it's in the pyramids. It's in,
Yeah,
uh,
inside and out. You know, it's
yeah,
all
the
through.
Greek,
Oh man, it's nuts.
yeah, the Greek. Oh, what were they? The temples where the pillars are. They've got one that's called the something of pillars, and it's just nothing but
Yeah.
pillars in Greece.
Mhm. Mhm.
And all of those buildings carry that, you know, the golden ratio are in them. Our body is the golden ratio. If you take this part of your finger,
Mhm.
you measure it to this part of your finger, it's
Mhm.
1.6 bigger. Measure it to this part of your finger, it's 1.6 bigger. And now your finger, a lot of people don't know it because you can't see it because your hand, but your finger extends on to
The
here.
wrist.
That's 1.6 bigger than this.
Wow.
The fibula, or I don't know if this is this called a fibula? What is this called?
I
This
don't know.
bone. It's 1.6 of your arm. That's how great artists have always known how to draw a body perfectly, because
Ah.
it's symmetrically perfect. And as long as you know that ratio, you can draw a finger, you know, you can draw, and then just make this one, like make that 1 inch, make that 1.6 inches, and then add whatever, you know, times that times 1.6, and whatever you get, you add that, and you continue on, and that's how you get
Wow.
the perfect symmetry of a human body.
Damn, dude, that's deep.
It's deep, and it's so evident that there's a creator to me. You know what I mean? It's so,
There,
um,
absolutely.
oh, it's, yeah. So to be an atheist, I just don't see how anybody could possibly. I seen one person say you're either extremely arrogant or you're extreme, or was it a narcissist? I can't remember what they said, but you know, you have to be like pretty much brain dead to be an atheist type
Yeah.
of thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you can't admit that somebody created the shit and that all this mathematics is happenstance, you probably flunked math, quite
You're
frankly. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it's so mind-boggling to me how that all is, and I really want to find that documentary because I that was the most well done film I've ever seen, explaining the math, the numbers to everything,
I've
everything.
got one that I'll send you, and I can't think of it on the top of my head, but this dude brings everything together and goes into sonic geometry, because that's where you really find out about harmony. Because looking at the numbers, you don't really see the harmony. I mean, it's hard to, but when you have sound involved, now you see that, okay, then you match those numbers and those musical scales to the platonic solids, they fit perfectly.
Hmm.
They fit perfectly. I'll have to give you that, show you, spine that for you and show it to you, but it ties everything together, and you realize that the whole Trinity, the whole, you know, a lot of people say it's this, this, and this. I've heard everything. I've heard it all. But to me, the universal language, no matter what planet you go to, no matter what country you go to, you can always speak math. If you go up and you got 2 rubles and you meet this, I don't care if it's a 10-foot alien, and then you got a short midget humanoid over here, and you got a munchkin troll over here, whatever. If you got 2 things and they come up and you don't speak, nobody speaks the same language, then you go to trade your 2 things and they got 4 things, they're not going to give you 4 things. They
Mm-hmm.
can see that you only got 2 things. They're going to trade you 2 things for two
Mm-hmm.
things because it's the universal language. We don't have to speak the same language. You
Mm-mm.
slide out your 2 things, you point to their 4 things, and they shake their head no. No, no, no. They slide out 2 things and they go, there you go. And you either
Mm-hmm.
make the deal or you don't. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that it's a language that we all speak. It's the universal language. Math is. That's why I dig it. I love math. There's no lies in math. There's no
Ah,
bullshit. It's the truth. The math is the truth, man. No
that
matter what religion.
that's that's yeah. And oh man, what else you got? I'm fascinated.
What else we got? What else we got? Oh, well,
We're pretty deep in the rabbit hole. Let's see how far
well,
we
there's a shitload that has to do in the Bible.
go.
Jesus died on the 9th hour. After he resurrected, he appeared to his disciples 9 times. There's a list this long, dude. I should have had that, but and that's what I was going to tell you in the beginning of the show. We can make 10 shows about this. We literally could. I mean, there are so many directions that you can go with the number 9. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just so evident. Here's another thing that's interesting about the 9. You can take any number, and if you flip it, say you got 2,160, that's actually adds up to 9. So let's not do that one. 5,000 and 5,275. Well, that's stupid. Let's go with 5,001. If you flip that number, 5,001, you flip it to 1,005, the numbers, what the difference is, will be divisible by 9. So let me see. What did I say? 5,001, and if you take away 1,005, it's going to be 4,990.
9.
No, it'll be 97. 4,900.
No, you take taking off that. I'm sorry. So taking 1,005 from 5,001.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever the hell that is.
Whatever it is. Shows too big of numbers.
It'll be divisible by 9. Are you calculating it? See if I'm right. See if I'm right.
5,001 minus 1,005 is 3,996.
Boom.
396. Holy shit! Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
nice.
Oh, it's crazy. And there's some other stuff in division, which I don't have that handy, and I can't remember what the hell it is. But division is actually anything divided by 9. I don't care if it's 1,007,000, whatever the number is. There's a way you don't even do the math. You just bring this number down. And what you do is, okay, let's say you got 1,400,000. Just call it 1,400,000. Okay, divided by 9. What you'll do is you bring your 1 down. Okay, you bring it down, and then you add that. What did I say? 400,000. So you add that 1 to the 4, which you bring the 5 down. Add that 5 to the 0. Bring the 5 down. Add that 5 to the 0, and you go all the way across. And now, if you have a remainder, which I can show you how to do that later, but if you have a remainder, like you say, it comes to 12, then you would carry the 1 back over this way instead of normally going that way. But anyway, that's how you can just write the answer right out, just by going straight down with the first number, whatever that first number is, bring it down here, write it down, then go in an angle up to the second number and add those 2, bring that down here. Then take that number and add it to the third number, bring that down. You will get the exact. It's insane, dude.
Wow.
9 is the shit, man. 9 is the shit. I love it. I love it. And you ever seen that cross? I showed you that cross that I had. It has that, it's a cross, but it has that circle thing on the top of it. You know what I mean? That's called the Ankh. That is the number 9 in Egypt. That cross is 9. Yeah, that's the symbol for the number 9 in Egypt.
No shit.
Yeah. Wow, it's never ending, dude. You could go on and on and on and on, And like, say it's the circle. If you just divide it in half, it's 360 degrees. If you just divide it in half, it goes to 180. You divide that goes to 90. You divide that goes to 45, 22 and a half, 11.225. It just goes on and on and on. And it always, no matter how small of a slice, as long as it's evenly divided, you will come up with 9. Always.
That is nuts, man. That is absolutely crazy.
I know it. I love it.
That I knew you were really into the numbers things, and I knew this was going to be you leading this show, because that's not really my forte, so to speak, other than just the synchronicities that I experienced.
And I'm leaving a ton of shit out, dude, because I wrote some stuff down just to keep, myself where I could kind of, relate or go back and reference, because there's so much. But there's so much in my life that I've it'll come to me in a few, trust me.
Yeah.
It never ends with me, man. I got 12 grandchildren. There's 3. Like I say, 369, 369, 369 with me, man. It never ends. It never ends. Oh, and like I said, when I got done my reconnection, that was the 36th week of the year as well. Not only was it 9/9/18, the first, because the reconnection's 2 days, so my finale was on 9/9/18.
Oh wow.
The day before that was 9/8/18. But that 9/8/18, that's Saturday, because the next day was the Sunday, starts the new week. But when I started my reconnection was the 36th week, went into the 37th, but I started on the 36th week.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and it's crazy, you know what I mean? And it costs $333, and there's the 9 again. It's just a never-ending thing for me, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, and I don't know what it means. All I can say is I am 9, baby. Whatever, you know what I mean? It's the God number. I don't want to be arrogant, but you begin to start thinking crazy shit. You know what I mean? You're like, damn, I am. You start to believe it, or I am.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, man. You are. We are. We
Yeah, we
are fucking divine beings here living a human experience, trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And
to me, divinity, to reach that, is to be in harmony with all things. If you can find, and I'm going to do a video on this about frequency and divinity, and how frequency and divinity tie in together. How, let's say let's say here's your straight line, and you got a dog, and he's going across, like a waveform, a frequency, a waveform, crossing over and under. Okay, now let's say, his space is only like this. Let's say a human is a great big wave form, but where those lines cross the medium, if your line crosses wherever that, like maybe the dog line crosses 3 times, and then on that 3rd time, your big line crosses it, and then 3 lines later, your big line crosses him again. Now you're in harmony with the dog. If it's the sun, if it's the grass, if your essence, if your frequency is in alignment with everything else, which simply you can do by loving everything and acknowledging that you are a part of everything and not destroying or killing anything, that's all God wants from you, man. That's all he wants. He wants you to love everything, because everything is you. He wants you to be in harmony with everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to run and get my charger, but we're good for a few minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's the message I'm getting anyway. And that's my experience. I know that other people may have other takes on it, what divinity is and this and that. But to me, that's what it is, to be in true harmony with all living things, the universe, and beyond, just being in harmony. Period.
I mean, it is. And everyone's going to have their own path of this discovery, on this path. That you do have to learn and come to terms or acknowledge that you are a divine being. And that's deep. That's big. You know what I mean? That's especially for what you're socially conditioned your entire life, is that you are worthless and you have to worship the God, and don't do this or he's gonna punish you. Or God's gonna punish you.
Fear-based,
Right. So then once you learn that you are a piece of God, that you have that spark of divinity in you, like, that's so big that I think a lot of people have trouble with that. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I did when I first heard. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, that doesn't sound right. Like, I don't feel like I'm divine. But then you get into it more and more. Like, well, you are. You absolutely, dude. Like,
absolutely. Yeah, you're part of God, dude. It's like, like Case explained it perfectly. You got the sun and you have all these rays, and he said, that's me. One of those rays is him, but is that ray not part of the sun?
Right.
Is that illumination not coming from the light? Is that ray not part of that sun? It is part of that sun. Is it the sun? No, it's not the sun. Is it part of the sun? You damn right it is.
Yeah.
Is it a reflection of the sun? You fucking right it is. You know what I mean? It's as evident can be. But, and I was going to say, I know I kind of look like I bash the church and shit, because I do, because to me, divinity is being in harmony with all things. And of course, that maybe it sounds like I'm not in harmony with the church, but the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is, you won't go into a Christian church and hear them lifting up Jehovah's Witnesses and Muslims and lifting up the Jews. You'll never go into a Muslim church and hear them lifting up the Christians and lifting up the Jews and lifting up whoever, atheist or whoever. You'll never find that in any religion where they support everybody else.
No.
You know, that's not harmony, man. So therefore, to me, religion is a division thing, which is a control thing. If you, like, look at our country right now, look at the control, look at how much division. I mean, the gap of division can never be closed. There's people who are going to die for that side. These people are dying for that side, and they'll do anything for their side, but they will not say, hey, I'm wrong, man, let's shake hands. And, you know, I could be wrong, you could be wrong. Who gives a care? Let's get along. It ain't happening. Yeah.
They will
And
not.
and that's how they got control over us now.
Exactly.
Because
That's
of the fear.
and it's really genius how they did it.
Oh, it's
so
absolutely
simple. It's so simple, and
Mhm.
they just they convolute it so much to where it's really difficult for you to wait, get through all the bullshit to
Yeah.
find the truth. Because in the Bible, there's the truth and the lie. In everything in this world, there's a truth and the lie at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's we're programmed or conditioned to accept that lie, to take the lie and believe
Yes.
that rather than the truth. So it's
Right.
like we have free choice. You have free choice to believe what you want to believe. Like even with what we're talking about, this doesn't align with your beliefs, then that's your free choice. But like it 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 makes it difficult. And what they just did it so elegantly. They just created
Oh,
more factions of the same. So they took like the same original teachings, original scriptures, and they took a little piece of it and created a religion, and took another piece of it and created a religion. So they all have a base truth to them,
they
and
do.
they just built that around that. And it's all man-made. If you feel like you gotta turn God into a man, or to a being that's like sitting your, to an individual linear
Yeah.
thing, then
Yes.
you've missed it. You missed the boat. But there's there's so much truth in there, so much.
Mhm.
And if you read the Bible and you listen to what Jesus says, like if you get the red letter edition Bible and you read only the red letters in that Bible, it'll blow
Uh-huh.
your fucking mind. Like
Yeah.
what he says is so deep, so profound. But
Mhm.
what man wrote in there convolutes it. It
Yeah.
changes, takes it out of context. It only, you only get what they want to use. And it's like
Right.
it directly contradicts what Jesus said.
Yeah.
A lot of it does.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's all built for control. That's literally why they did it. Who
Yes.
who
Oh, for
who
sure.
created the King James? Is that the Romans?
No, it was England. It was England. It was King James of England that did that,
England.
and he sent his scholars to go. I think it was, well, they went everywhere, to Egypt, to all of the places that had back in Iran wasn't called Iraq and Iran and all that back in the day. I forget the names of them, but they would go to them and get doctrine. But the doctrine that they would get would be 300-year-old doctrine, 300 or 400, I don't know how many years, but several hundred years old, because the book was written in the King James was written in 1600.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 1600 AD, after Christ is gone. 1,600 years, these cats are writing this shit. So they're going and getting stuff that's 300 years old that these dudes got from 500-year-old tablets that those guys got from rotting,
Disciples.
decaying tablets from, and each person has put their own little emphasis, because back then, language, see, a lot of people aren't wired up to read and understand some of the esoteric knowledge, because there is meanings in it that aren't like you said, we think linear. No, dude, when there's a word, it has 5 different fucking meanings. And I mean 5 different meanings.
Yeah.
And that
And
thing
they're all true.
Yeah, and it could be interpreted so many different ways, and it is supposed to be interpreted so many different ways, because that's how you get the full meaning. But they take that, they single it down into the one that they like, the one that they can push, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what they do. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
the Christian Crusaders, all that shit started right around King James time when they wrote the Bible, and then they started going after anybody who wasn't Christian, because back then Hindu prince, or the way that the Hindus and the Sumerians and people like that, um, I don't want to say worship, but their religions, whatever they did, it was still alive, and it was conflicting, and it was where people really believed that they did not need to go through a hierarchy, like a preacher or a church or whatever, to
Mm-hmm.
get to God. They could be connected with God on their own,
Right.
right. And they knew that the universe was mental. They knew it was all mind. They knew that it was vibration. They knew the law of attraction. They know the 7 hermetic principles. They knew it, and they were exercising. And you can't control people like that. These people are on their own, just like us. We're not being controlled because we're thinking for ourselves. It's that simple, dude. It's as simple as that. We
Yeah.
think for ourselves. That's why they're saying, oh, the New Age religion, they're the devils and blah, blah, because you think for yourself, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
as simple as that.
When you become a free thinker and you start
Oh,
questioning
you're
things
evil.
that you've been taught, and things that have been drilled into your head your whole life, that when you step back and start to look at these things and realize that they really don't make very much sense, and
Right,
like then you question, why did I just blindly believe that so easily?
right.
Like
Yes.
I felt gullible for a lot of the things when I started going through this. I'm like, how did I? Well, first of all, I don't really believe much anything. Like I just
Yeah,
kind of took everything in passing. Okay, that's
right.
cool, and I wasn't really like, well, that's what it is. The first
Yeah,
thing that resonated with me was that creation story of the Anunnaki. That's the first thing I saw that was like like the first thing that ever like resonated, that felt good. But that eventually took me down the dark path, that fear
yes.
and
You
guilt and
can't.
shame and all that. But it was, that was my journey. That's what took me into the path of where I am now, eventually getting out of that, and knowing that I have
Yeah,
everything inside me, trusting that I am enough. You
it
are
all.
enough.
As
Everybody
above, so
enough.
below, baby. As above, so below.
As
You are
within, so
everything
without.
in the universe. You are everything in the universe, and you are a fucking cell, an atom.
I like how
Um,
Brian Divisions Brian Division says in his one song that we're all stars with a heartbeat.
yeah,
I love that.
it's simple. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking
We're
of Brian Divisions, I'm supposed to have him on the channel this Friday.
dig it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
so
get Ed
excited
on here.
about it. What's that?
You said something about getting Ed on here. Ed,
Yeah, I'm gonna try that today. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but I was still working yesterday. Um,
you gonna have him on You and Africa show then?
yeah, probably. I want to
Right
have
on.
him on this show too. I
Dig
wanted
it.
to do this one first, and then we can do another one with him, and
Right on.
talk about, because he's got, you talk to him,
Interesting.
he's got some stories.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
fascinating.
Yeah.
So we'll schedule that soon. Maybe later today if you have time. I don't know. We'll
I
figure
should
that
be
out.
around. Yeah, I should be around.
Cool,
What
cool.
is today? Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta run out to what time is it? 11. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I lost my train of thought.
It's funny how an hour flies by, isn't it?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, you
No,
and me, we can go on and on, man.
I know. I know. I think we're at like 50 minutes right now.
Dig
Like
it.
since we've been recording anyway,
That's cool.
which is perfect. I really like this one. I think it was very informative. It's
Yeah,
111
and
on the
there's
time
so
clock
much
right
more.
now.
And anybody that gets onto this, they're going to see that they can spend a week or two doing this. I mean, all day, every day, and still find more shit out about the number 9, man. It's and the 369. To me, the 369, that's the pulse. That's the fucking pulse. That is it. Period. That is how energy works. That's how every single motor that has to do with magnetism and electromagnetism, what they call dielectricity, I guess. That's how they all work. They come from that single thought. That's how all machines were made. That's how Tesla found free energy in the universe. That's how Tesla figured out everything he ever figured out was those three numbers, man. He found the key to everything with
He
those
did.
numbers.
He did. Cryon even talks about Tesla a lot. That he learned how to create massless objects with magnetism.
Yes.
So it people think it was like anti-gravity. It wasn't anti-gravity. It's anti-mass. So like he turned it into a massless object with magnetism,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And then it's a lot to do with the combination of different magnetic fields and how they react and work with each other, which is
Right.
fascinating to me too.
Yep. It has to do with inertia. It
Yeah,
has to do with inertia. Yep.
I would love to spend a weekend with Tesla, like in his workshop back in that day. You know what I mean? You know how cool that would be? It's
Yeah.
nuts.
If you want to get onto the dude who's heavy as hell, Ken Wheeler, Theoposis Aphosaurus or something, but his name's Ken Wheeler. He's a genius, dude. This dude is like, he's been writing. He's actually wrote the book. He's got on his fourth book about magnetism, and about gravity. And he thinks Einstein is a joke. I mean, this dude thinks Einstein's a blithering idiot, and he makes a hell of a case, But
What's his name?
he idolizes Tesla. He is he studied Neoplatonism. I mean, this guy he's deep, dude. He is like super deep. And I don't know if you know about Nassim Harriman. He's a physicist as well. And
Hold on, give me the names again.
Ken Wheeler, but it's called Theoposis Aphosaurus. I don't know. It's a real weird name.
Yeah,
But if you type in magnetism, dielectricity, anything to that effect, anything that has to do with magnets, I'll send you some shit on him. He's deep, dude. He will keep your brain titillated. You will just if you get into shit, like I eat knowledge, dude. I can just, I can't get enough.
That's what I've been feeling like lately. I just haven't had the time to do the research that I love to do, and it's I feel like I'm like, when I go to make a video, I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about? Like, I don't want to make videos. I just want to read right now. I want to learn.
Right.
I want to watch videos. I want to absorb that knowledge, because that's what I do. And then I analyze that, and then I talk about it, and I'm not, I mean, I'm doing the healing things, which I absolutely love. But now that
you just want to learn.
now that I've freed up some more time in my life.
Let me go get my charger. I'm about to go dead on you.
All right. Stop, resume. There we go. All right, and we're back. So we're talking about Ken Wheeler, the magnetism. Definitely send me those links, and I would like to have something on that pyramid stuff, or the whatever you're talking about with that. I want to
write down Carl Munich.
Carl Munich.
Carl Munich, the code. You'll love it, dude.
I think I have that written down somewhere else. The code. Is that a book? The Code?
No, it's a YouTube. It's on YouTube. I watched it.
Okay.
It's just called Carl Munich, the Code.
Oh, I just got a new book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. Fascinating. From the Mind Valley guy.
Mind Valley,
Yeah. I'm really excited about that. I'm still very much into that whole bending reality and changing your, reprogramming your mind and your subconscious, and how your subconscious is like 40 million times more powerful than your conscious mind. It's intense, like really literally 40 million times. Like,
do you know who Bruce Lipton is?
Yes, that's who I'm watching about. He's got a lot of great stuff on there.
Boss. I love him, man. And Greg Braden. But
I was led to him like last week. He just popped up on my suggested videos, and I was like,
the shit, man.
Boop.
Yeah, him and I'll think of his name in a minute. But I was going to tell you while you're writing stuff down, the Nassim Harriman.
I love Nassim.
Yeah, he's the one that just wrote the unified field theory, which is what Einstein was trying to write on his deathbed.
Really?
Yeah, he was, and he wrote it. And I don't know if he got the Nobel Prize for that or whatever they call it, but Case talks about him a lot.
Yeah, that's how I learned of the guy. Case linked one of his lectures or to his videos.
Yeah, one of his videos, he says that he sat down with different heads of different alien races, and he literally he said that, you know, he puts it out there. He says these, you know, they're going to say I'm crazy because they already think he's crazy in the scientific community because he doesn't think like they think,
But yeah,
and
he
everything,
didn't.
you know, in the scientific community, dude, it's they're a bunch of stubborn ass. It's like the Republican Party. You know what I mean? They can't admit they're wrong for nothing, dude. I mean, they just can't. And I think the Democrats are like that too. So
Yeah,
sorry, whoever.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But
This doesn't get
you
started
know,
on
they're just arrogant.
in politics.
Yeah, they just can't. But like I say, scientists can't retract. You know what? If they put something out there and they follow a certain way of thinking, and there's a new way of thinking that comes along, man, they have a hard time getting on board with it. But this guy has forced his way in, and they can't deny him anymore. But he's deep. It seems deep. This dude, have you ever heard of breatharianism? You can literally, without food and without water, you can live for months and months and months by absorbing energy through meditation. Because all you do when you eat food is you get the energy from the food.
Yeah.
Food has frequency and energy in it. You eat it, your body digests it. You take the energy that you need, which, you know, which they'd say comes in calories and nutrients and blase scoop, and then you shit the rest, right? So you get the energy you need. Well, this dude here, you got to check him out and type in on his name, breatharianism. And there's several other guys like him that have literally lived for months and months and months without food. They was fed through meditation, dude. It's
That's
pretty
fascinating.
deep.
That's
It
absolutely fascinating.
This dude lived in his van.
I want to start researching, and that's my next topic, is how to reprogram the mind, like literally to refire different synapses and to basically activate different portions of your brain. Like I know you can do it, and I want to learn and start practicing.
Bruce,
It's kind of like I'm all about like fast tracking my own evolution. You know, like I really.
Bruce Lipton is the guy, and I'll send you the other guy's name, and his name's escaped me right now, but he's the one that he's. I'll send it to you. But in the movie What the Bleep, he's like the red-haired guy. And man, what the hell?
What is that movie? What the Bleep? I've heard you talk about it so much. I never asked you.
Oh yeah, that's the one that Case mentioned. So that was the first thing I went to, and his very first video that I watched. And you need to watch it. It's on YouTube. The full movie is on there. It's about a 2-hour long movie, but it tells you, and it tells you in a biological way, how you change your reality. Like I told you, that around your thalamus area, your body creates chemicals and feeds it to the cells. And if you're an angry person, you know, it creates that certain chemical, and your cells feed. Your cells have receptors. It's like a little receptor, and then these chemicals come down and they lock in and they get locked in, right? Yeah. Well, your cell has many types of receptors. It can lock into any chemical, but it gets addicted to that one. You keep sending it every day, whether it's sexual pleasure, greed, happiness, drugs, anger. That's how people become addicted. And when you don't feed the beast, your cells are screaming. That's when your body starts hurting. Your cells are like, yeah, so you will create in your mind a situation to where you either get angry, if it's anger that's your thing, or whether you find love, if that's your thing, or sex, or gambling, whatever your deal is, whatever you always are doing every day and feeding themselves every day and feeding themselves every day. It explains chemically how you change. By changing your thought, you change the chemical. Now, your cells at first, they'll grab onto that new chemical, but they want to spit it out. They want the other one they're used to, the one they're. So it's a process that you have to keep going. Like, you know, if you can imagine your like lightning bolts, that's what your neurons are. All these branches going off onto these little neurons, and they're well. Once they keep firing the same neurons and firing the same neurons, and they build this path of least resistance. So your brain automatically fires those neurons. As soon as you get up in the morning, it's firing the same neurons. So it's creating the same chemical, which is feeding the cells, which creates your reality. And you keep living in the past and living in the past, and you can't change. And people are like, why can't I change? Well, you can't just change your mind one day. You have to do it. It's a process where you have to meditate. You have to calm your ass down. You have to tell your body, sit still.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You take it over. You don't
Yeah.
let
You
don't let
really, literally
don't
just
become
like that too.
servant. Right. You don't
Literally
become
just like
servant.
that.
Yeah. You make it become your servant instead of you being its servant.
When
And
I
you do
get
this
in
every
really,
day. And over the course of 2 to 3 weeks, you change.
yeah.
Neurons start to fire to new neurons. They build that new path. So they're going to these new neurons, and they don't even recognize the old path anymore. They got this
Yep.
new path, and they've dug that little route to these new neurons, which creates that chemical. Gets easier and easier. Cells feed off of it. Then your reality begins to change. You change yourself, you change your reality, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to change your exterior world, you got to change your interior world.
Yeah, because
As
that's all it
within,
is.
so without,
Right, right.
also below. It's all there.
Mhm.
And we absolutely do project our own reality. So if that's why your thoughts and your beliefs create your reality. So
Yeah,
that's where you start with. If you know, hold every thought captive, every thought that comes through your mind, like really analyze it, go down to the root of that. Where did that come from? Like if you're feeling jealousy, like I had a feeling of jealousy a couple of days ago, and I don't know where it came from. It was a lot to do with like the portal and the new moon, all the energies coming through. I felt like a lot of old baggage was still coming up,
yeah,
that I hadn't fully dealt with, that I thought I had. But do we ever fully deal with it? There's always something
right,
that's trying to climb back out and put a roadblock in front of you. But
yeah,
I had that feeling, and I really didn't like it, and I had to deal with that. But I recognize that. I recognize that that was an old programming feeling, but it
right,
didn't change the fact that I felt it. Like it hurt. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't
man,
pleasurable. And if it doesn't please me, if it's not, in my highest good, if it doesn't benefit me to have that feeling, then why am I having that feeling? I don't want to have
right,
that feeling. I don't want to have a feeling that doesn't feel good, that doesn't resonate with me. It was, what's the freaking point, you know?
right.
Um, so I had to sit with that, and I really did. And that was Saturday night. So I think a lot of that could have been why I had the migraine all day Sunday, because I
It could
felt
have
like all
been,
that old shit was coming up, and I was
yeah,
dealing with it. And there's also a lot of things, activations. Some people had mentioned, like your pineal gland decalcifying or activating your third eye or whatever. Which
yeah.
I've had that that energy come through before, and I also had a headache from that too. And it's like these. When I say headaches, I mean it was unshakable. Like no, there was nothing. I was no good,
Yeah,
no good that day, which doesn't
that's how
happen.
I thought I thought I had 104 temperature. I was hurting so bad. You know how like when you have a real high temperature and you can't, I mean, it kills you to go to the bathroom. You can't even get up and you're
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
aching all over. Just check my temperature, dude. It was pretty normal. And, but I felt like I was dying. And she brought me some medicine from her work, and and I think it's made, I forget what the company is. I said, go get me some real shit. Go get the Dayquil, the real deal, made by Dayquils, I took it. It didn't do nothing, man. I'm drinking smoothies, and I can fight my way through sickness. I'm one of them kind of
Mm-hmm.
dudes. I'll start doing the nutrients. I'll get a smoothie and take some airborne and put in there, with
Yep.
blueberries and
Yep.
all the good, fruits and whatever, celery and whatnot. And I drink it, and I can actually start feeling better. Or if I take medicine, I will at least feel better for an hour or two, and then I go back down. It nothing, dude. It was nothing. I couldn't feel better for 5 minutes through that whole entire time, man. It was killing my ass. Like I
Yeah.
said, I got the cramp in the back of my shoulder still. I still can't get my throat clear, which
Dude. Yeah.
that started here a month ago. My
Me
throat thing.
too. Me
I don't
too,
know
man.
what. I'm
It,
like,
it
what is going on?
it's
She
constantly.
had,
And before, like I know, and I recognize that when you talk about things that are difficult for you to talk about,
yeah,
that happens. But
yeah,
I mean, this is literally all day, every day. I'm constantly
everything.
throat. It's no matter what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
is really driving me nuts. Like it's
Yeah, I know.
it's been over a month now. And
I
now,
know.
like now we're talking about it, we're gonna have to keep
I know. We'll be clearing our throats all day long.
yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that.
Where we at?
With the sickness, yeah, I felt a lot of that too. Like it was just really, really uncomfortable feelings, really antsy. Like I just like it was like like I didn't know what to do. You know, it was just like I
Well,
had yeah,
yeah, I think what it was is your body was going through withdrawals. You have been on this love train, and all of a sudden you somehow slipped back into your old self, and your cells in your body were like, fuck that, dude. They're trying to kill your ass for doing that. They're
could
like, get
be.
your ass back into the love, bro, or we're going to
Yeah,
pound your head off. You know what I mean?
yeah, that
You know,
could be
because you,
exactly what it was. I didn't even think of it that way.
yeah,
My
you were
body,
going,
my body and cells are so used to that love because that's what I embody daily. You know, that's what I
right.
carry. So, and it's funny because the first time that like that jealousy feeling came, then all of a sudden like all these other doubts start creeping in, and I'm like, nope, squash that
Yeah,
shit.
you
Nope,
got to, man.
nope, nope. They're like, you know, I let it come up. So I come up, I see it, I recognize it, I know it's old programming, so I don't, you know, I don't let it in. I just recognize it, let it move on, and
Yeah.
it seems to be working. And you know, I still have a little pain in my back, which I was talking to Jessica. It's about Divine Time channel. She's a card reader kind of deal,
Yeah.
and she was talking about. Also, I've been listening to a lot of Feel Good lately, and he's pretty deep. I like that dude. But
Yeah.
we're talking about like entity attachments. You know, these lower vibrational energies, and
Yeah.
when you have those, you feel pain in like the middle of your back, like in your
Dude,
upper
I
back.
I told
Like,
Ed that. I told him it was so weird. He sent me his wife is a QHHT, is that what it's called?
yep,
Facilitator, and which is the same as what Dolores Cannon, is that her
yep,
name? Dolores
yep,
Cannon.
yep.
Um, and we got to talking about that, and me and him hit it off right off the bat. I feel like I know this guy. And that's what he told me. I think he told you, give me that guy's number, man. I
Yeah, yeah.
feel like I know this guy, you know. And so me and him hit it right off the bat. We talked and stuff. Well, we text later on, a few days later, we've been texting back and forth. Well, he sent me this. I forget what the lady's name, but she was doing one of those sessions. It was like number 205 or whatever. And dude, it got me kind of emotional because this dude here had something attached. He couldn't articulate what he was trying to say. And there was an attachment to his throat, and they removed it. And
Wow.
the dude, you know, after it was all over, he could tell that it was. And dude, it was like the light bulbs went off. I was like, man, that's how I felt. I felt like some shit has been attached to me. I feel like something's trying to keep me from being what the fuck I am being right now. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's creating this physical pain. I feel like, and I can't figure out where it came from. You know, I'm like, who attached that shit to me? AJ, did you know? You know, but I'm like, what? You know, is this something I've created? If this is something, you know, from the aliens, since, you know, I've kind of tiptoed into that area a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I haven't opened my mind up to that finally, you know, because that's something I closed my mind to. I wasn't going to, uh, you know, I talked about that, you know, you were more receptive to it, more open, but you're younger, you know what I mean? Uh, you don't have like so many years of thinking people are crazy for doing that like I have, you know, because
Right.
years ago, for years and years and years, you know, in my generation, you know, old so bitch. You know, you just think people are crazy when they start talking about aliens. You know, we always used to put people in boxes. Oh, he's crazy. You know what I mean? That dude talks
Mm-hmm.
about he's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Here comes the Bigfoot guy. He's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you get like that, and so it was hard for me to think. You know, I ain't no alien. You know, but then, like I told you, I think I was being groomed. I got a couple of people that I'm talking to who, you know, kind of brought a few things to my mind and started talking to me about a few things that got me thinking, you know what, that makes sense because the other stuff I've been watching I haven't really been resonating with. And I think that's part of the reason also that I haven't really embraced any of that idea. But some of the things that these people said sort of made sense. And I was like, wow, I think I do relate with that, you know. So says, just like, you know, we always say, if you open that box a little bit, man, get ready because some shit's coming in, you know. And that's
Yeah.
what happened. You know, that's what happened. I opened it up, and now I'm like seeing things from a little bit different perspective. You know.
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's nuts. And you know, I heard of the entity attachments and so on, which it all makes sense. And the other night, it was Sunday night because I slept from like 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And I woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you know, I was up for like an hour. So I started listening to some Cryon, and Cryon was talking about the same thing. It's like
Really?
when I hear something and then, you know, I hear it and it's confirmed like 3 times through
Yeah.
3 different trusted sources to me, the
Yeah.
people that
And it
resonate with
comes
me.
from different areas. Yeah.
Yeah, people that don't know each other, you know, the
Yeah.
different. Yeah,
And you're
so
like, oh my God,
that's
I'm hearing
that's
this again.
fascinating.
Yeah.
The information you seek is seeking you also. So if you're looking for it, it'll find you. You will find it.
What do they
And
say about dealing with that?
what?
How do you deal with that? What they say?
Um,
Or send me a video.
yeah, yeah.
Send me a video.
It's interesting. And also, I heard this a while back with David Icke talks about that, and he has a lot of visual representation of what that looks like. But also, like when this happens, like you can see people's faces change. Like I've seen this, I've witnessed this. Um, like they're like when they like explode out and like they're just like screaming that rage, like that is not them, that's not their divine self, that is that entity attachment that is just, you know, attacking because you know it's feeling threatened and it doesn't want to go, it's enjoying itself, and that
Yeah.
person's taking that person's energy, that's all they're doing, they're harvesting your energy, that's what they're doing, that's
Exactly,
their
dude. And that's
purpose.
what I think has happened to me. And I'm like, okay, and it's also, it doesn't only take your energy, man. It messes with your mind. Dude, I can
Well,
have
it's,
like
yeah, it messes with your mind in order to create more of that energy.
yeah, but I'll have these like brilliant ideas for like either a video or anything, and not even 30 seconds later, dude, I cannot remember. I'm like, oh my God, dude, it was like the
Oh
most
yeah,
genius thing ever.
that happens
What
to me
were
all
you
the
just
time,
thinking?
all the
Oh,
time,
oh,
all the time.
that
I,
felt good, dude. I watched him about 6 or 8 months ago, and he had something to tell you. That's what he was talking about. He was doing what I'm doing right now.
mm,
He had a flu symptoms. His throat was all cloggy, and he was talking about it. He said something or other attached something to him or whatever, you know. And which he always gets off and talks. He talks to the nine. He calls them the nine.
I,
Did you
I,
know that?
yeah, I just heard that last night.
Yeah, he calls them the nine. That's who he refers to. But he was always like a little bit out there with the alien stuff. So like, you know, I kind of watch those guys for a few, kind of like Lori Ladd. I'll watch them for a few, but then it kind of gets like maybe a little out of my reach, you know, where I'm not. I
Like
don't know.
it's like too
I don't know. You
fantastical
know,
for you. Too.
something. There's something, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I get
yeah,
it, dude. I know.
maybe my box isn't opened up enough yet, you know.
Hmm. Yeah,
But it's
it's
getting there.
yeah, I hear you. I mean, with Lori Ladd, I remember the first time she started talking about like dragons and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, like I don't know about that,
Yeah,
Lori. Like I love everything, but now it's like, well, fuck,
you
like,
understand.
all
Yeah,
right, dragons.
that,
That's a
yeah,
fucking real thing now. Jesus, I mean,
yeah.
like how much my reality has changed in the last month alone is phenomenal, like unreal. Like you really have to have an open mind to accept the things that I've witnessed
Oh,
in the last month alone. Like, I mean,
yeah.
it's really fucking
You're
phenomenal.
like on that. I can tell that you're right there where I was, where like just the weirdest, out of this world, craziest. You know, and some of it's in some of my videos, but I've told you about it too. Some of the just shit, you just shake your head. And you're like, that's unbelievable, man. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable that it's happened to me. And you know, I got a pretty high IQ, and I'm, you know, really, really alert and aware of what the fuck's going on, and I'm not a bullshitter, you know. So, uh, you know, it's like it's really happening, you know, and I don't care who believes me, and I don't even like to talk about it because I don't even care if anybody believes me, you know. But I
Hmm.
will tell you, and I'll share it with some of my Starseed family and stuff because it may help somebody along the way, especially
Yeah.
like you hit this point where you're seeing this crazy shit, but you heard some of my stuff, so you were probably a little prepared when it hit. You was like, you know, I knew shit like this could happen because Bill said, you know, that happened to him or
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
That's the only reason I really talk about it because I don't want to dispute it. I want to I don't have to prove it to nobody. I know what happened, but if anybody wants to know, I'll tell them, because some of the stuff is, it's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's freaky. It's weird. It's nuts.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
and I love all of it. And
Yeah.
I like especially this whole elemental thing that is fascinating me. I'm still very deep into that and learning daily. I'm being I'm getting lessons now is the
Yep.
best way I can say it. I'm being taught, I'm being guided
Yep.
and learning. So when that reaches a new evolution, I will bring that back into this somehow.
You'll
But
make connections with, like I've got some squirrels out here that I've had some pretty good little connections with, almost conversations. I mean,
that video I posted, the bunny foo video,
huh?
that bunny foo video I
No, I never
posted.
did watch. I need
It's
to go
just
watch.
it's like a 20-second clip of a bunny that I saw out back of where I work,
Uh-huh.
and
But
and
you could tell.
but it was a connection. It was like fucking love was just like
I
wow,
know.
dude. It was so intense, so
That's the shit.
intense. And I was like, it felt like it felt like when I was at the reconnection, like when I came home from the reconnection, how that was just
Yeah.
like radiating off of me, like just
Yeah.
unreal. And that's how it felt. And the rat was just like staring at me. And
Yeah.
we were like 20 feet away from each other, and he just stared at me. And I just like I was sitting there smoking a cigarette, like, and I got my phone out and recorded it, and
Yeah.
then then
That's
put the
what.
phone away, and he's still there. And then he ran off. I was like, whoa, where are you going? And he looked
Yeah.
back and like stared at me and scratched his head, and then jumped into the bush. But it
And
was like that
that's what
connection was deep.
that's what divinity is, bro. That was you and him were harmony. At that moment, you were so connected, and your waves and his waves were on the
Mm,
same.
yeah, I
What I
like
mean?
that. I
You
like
guys
that.
were just, if you was to draw that line out and say his little lines are, and then every four of his little curves, yours would come and
Yes.
intersect, and every four, the next four, it would intersect because
Yeah.
your wavelength is bigger, his is smaller, So every fourth one, where his crosses, yours crosses. Four down the road, his crosses, yours crosses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
harmony. That's when you're connected to the shit. To me, it's easier to connect to trees. Trees, for some reason, I don't know what it is about trees, but man, I can get up on a tree and just start loving that dude, man. I'm
Yeah,
becoming a
dude.
tree.
I get it, man. Did you
I'm a
see that
tree
video I
hugger,
posted yesterday evening with just out in nature, just all the green shit that I
man.
posted?
Yes. Oh God, yes, yes.
Oh
We were
man,
out in it all day.
yeah, that was beautiful. But what drew me to it was it was a different shade of green that I drive it every day. I see it every day, but it was
Right.
like it was almost like a neon green.
Yeah.
And in the morning when I drove past there, I almost turned around to go back to that spot to start filming. But
You, you
I had shit to do, so I didn't do that.
to me, what you're explaining, or at least in my experience, to me, the word that you would use would be vibrant. It's actually like
Mm,
instead of the
mm,
leaf just being green and sitting there, it's like that thing. You can almost see the frequency. I mean, there's a different.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
different, man. It's so crisp and beautiful. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
different.
yeah. So I went back there on my way home and I stopped. Like I knew I was gonna stop. I was like, yeah, I'm stopping right there.
Yeah.
And I took that video. But there's two trees right there that fascinate me, and I'm really drawn to them.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I could do it, but I took some like screen grabs of while I was filming. So there's actually still photos too. I want to
Cool.
look into that a little bit more, but yeah, it is it's fascinating, and the video on my phone is like way better than what uploaded, because the upload is like I don't know, the frame rate doesn't it's not real smooth, so it's like
Uh-huh.
it's all right though. It's good. It's a good video. I like it.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Might use that for something else down the road or make a new one. I got big plans for something with a whole video in the nature around here.
Dig it.
But all right, we've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes now, I think.
All right. Let's.
Nip it in the bud. All right, everybody. Thank
You
you
know,
for
Seth,
joining us. If you're still here, again, we always forget to do this in the beginning. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Go to BoneZee's channel and like, share,
BoneZee
subscribe.
369, BoneZee 369, BoneZee 369.
BoneZee 369. The links are below. And just hit the like button. You know, that's how you support us. It's like what did you call it the other day? Like a little red cent or something.
Yeah, it's a penny. It's a penny. It's not even a penny. It's a dink. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Think of all the stuff you touch in your life just to see if it's hot, see if it's, if it's wet. Touch the like button. See if it's
Yeah.
hot.
See if
Just
you
touch
like it.
It
You know,
might
if
be
you
hot
don't like it, then hit the thumbs down button twice.
twice.
Hit it
There you
twice. Yeah. I love that.
You gonna put
All
this
right.
on higher self?
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, you
Absolutely.
people in higher self, come find me, man. BoneZee 369.
Yeah, check out BoneZee's last video too, man. He was what was that, last week?
Dying. Huh?
Was that last week, your video? When you
It
recorded
was
it?
when I was sick.
Yeah,
It was about
a couple
3 or
days
4
ago.
days, maybe 5 days ago. But you know, a lot of people contacted me and told me that they had this throbbing thing and they're going on their head. Dude, I felt like it was I think it was my right eye. I felt like somebody just let me have it about 4. I mean, it was a throb. It was throbbing so hard it had the whole side of my head hurting, dude. I don't never get headache. I'm not a headache kind of guy.
Really?
So if I get a headache, it's like something going down, you know, something, you know what I mean? I must have drank too much, you know what I'm saying? Because I never.
think you're getting through a lot of healing is what I think too. Like
I think so too.
something, you know.
Feeling good now, except for this. I got this respiratory.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. I need to get rid of that shit too. It's pissing
I
me
know.
off. All right. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Behind the Veil. This was a special one to us, number 9.
Number 9.
Thank you for your continued support. Thank you to Higher Self for continuing to air our videos. We really do appreciate it, and we love the platform and being able to get out to that many people.
Yes, thank you, Higher Self. I love you.
Yes, we love you lots. All right. Be the change that you want to see in this world, and just
know that you're beautiful. Know that you're beautiful.
Know that you're beautiful.
Beautiful.
And love yourself.
I said so, because I said so.
And we think you're beautiful too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Oh, stop.
Stop it.
Oh, jeez. All right, guys. Have a good day. Love and light.
Love and light.